And welcome back to the serotonin fix that is Trick Roll. Everybody's running late today, even though only one of them had an excuse, but okay, that's fine. Because we will just do the quick introduction and we'll let everybody else jump in as they log in. They've been warned to come in peacefully and work their way into the story. So naturally, they won't do that. I am Andy. I am the organizer of chaos here on Trick Roll. And thanks to anonymous donations and purchases and all those fun little ways that support us, we have Trick Rolls this week. Every player gets one Trick Roll. I get two because I need it. Don't give me that face. You still got 3-2. So,
Yeah,
Kyle,
this is true.
who are you and why are you here?
I am Kyle. I am a fellow Twitch streamer. I go by Flint Ewood 756 on Twitch and on YouTube. I am here today to play the broguish, charming, very bald-headed Joseph Lucerno.
All right. And in our last game, the players had gone to the large city. Once upon a time, it was known as the capital, Wildom, but now they just recently decided they were going to change their name to the Port of Sanguine because they're no longer the capital because the king died a long time ago. And it's Andy rewriting some old lore to fit the new world we're playing. I do that a lot.
Wait,
Um,
the port of Sanguine, as in the port of blood.
you're just now catching on to that. I was waiting for you to figure it out last time we played.
I wanted to have the reaction on screen, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean that's if you're using, our version of Latin. I would yeah. I'm sure it means nothing. It's just a very clever name and it's not a foreboding thing at all. I promise. I make no promises. Uh but last time you guys were you had come down here, uh there was a few different jobs and but you took up the one where going to help train the magic students because the new headmaster had decided the best way to train people in magic is not to actually study dusty old tomes, it's to go out and kill things. So you all took on the job of beating down their students until they managed to kill you, which actually took quite a while because first Vivi went down to someone who had learned their lesson about physical attacks and enlarged themselves and was ready to curve stop Vivi until Joeseph decided to get involved in a fight he wasn't in part of. And then the headmaster boiled his blood in his veins and dropped him. Gileth then took the bodies, ran down to his old friend, the Lich that lives underneath the city for some reason, and managed to bring everybody back. And I'm sure that owing the insane Lich Simpkins a favor will not be a future plot line at all. I've totally started writing it already. But
Yay.
Joeseph, you've been in town for a little while. You're recovering. You figured out how to walk on the leg that Simpkins so kindly reattached for you after he brought you back with a full body, and you said you wanted your mechanical leg for some reason.
Thought that it would go a very different way than how it did. So yeah, well, first things first, Joseph is just going to try and get the lay of the land when it comes to the culture of Port Sanguine, because last time that he was here, it actually was still called Wildom.
Yeah, they
But
changed the name changes much more recent.
yes, well, it's also the fact that him being how he is as well, he used to just steal stuff for people or assassinate things. So he's just kind of like, this is going to be a change because all the nobles are probably somewhere else right now. Except for those who were exclusive to the city. So he's just going to wander through and sort of try and find ways to get information and rumors about what's going on in the Port Sanguine, as well as figure out what the heck is going on with this person who's calling himself the Bandit King, because that's just pretentious.
Uh, I will say that the name Bandit King, that has been like an ongoing legend, mythical figure. It's not so much that they're recent. You probably grew up learning the trades of a rogue, hearing about the Bandit King who lived out in the wilderness and commanded all of the rogues through a network. And at the same time, it's like Giles has even heard stories about this guy. Some people debate whether or not he was ever real. Some think it's just somebody who got lucky enough to command a small group. But for the whole of everything, go ahead and just make me a persuasion check.
Get into D&D Beyond, because that was actually something that I probably should have done in the 20 minutes that we were just driveling about.
Well, to be fair, I was waiting for Arshis to show up because he was the one who was checking to make sure we were all here. Jesse is the one who actually said he would be late. So this was things that we were going to be ready to do in game.
Mm-hmm. There we go. There's Joeseph. Let's get into
Actually, pulling up your character sheet, you could have done during the 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
I thought you were talking about just doing the rolls. Yeah. 7. Okay. Yeah. All your contacts have, people you used to know, the networks, they've completely rearranged. It's like, the whole city has changed over the past few years. So as far as, I will say, we'll start at the surface level and work our way down to where you know nothing. Actually, most of the nobles seem like they are fine with the change because, now there's a council that runs the city, and it's a whole lot easier to work with than it is to one king. You can bribe several people and get what you want. Although, that's probably not what's happening. I'm sure it's a fair and completely just system of government, like all governments. That's also speaking a little bit to how I think Joeseph interprets everything. I think he kind of sees plots everywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But
well, he's not one of those people that will put up entire pictures and writings up on a wall and then have red pieces of string attached to each and every single point going, this is how they all work. But he is one of those people who just kind of like, oh, so we've got the class system here, and then the top are probably in control of most secret things and just making their money and using it as tax dumps. So,
well, considering that the local magic school is executing prisoners just to gain their students a few levels of experience, yeah, it's probably something weird going on.
yeah.
But as far as the Bandit King, oh yeah, he's a godlike figure, and he's actually in control of everything. But he doesn't live in the city; he lives out in the woods somewhere. Got a mansion in the woods, but you can't find it because it's hidden. Of course, it's all just complete baloney, and you've actually met 5 Bandit Kings in the city. Mostly drunk and boasting, but clearly, they're all the Bandit Kings. So there's no real Bandit King.
Unless it's some guy out in the middle of the wilderness who's saying that he's the Bandit King in order to gather people through and get them to run through a gambit, while he secretly uses that gambit to figure out a way to get at a giant ruby about the size of a dragon's eye.
I think that was the plot of a movie.
Yes, I think so as well.
Like 5 of them, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. The plot of a bardic tale.
But yeah, I think with this, Joeseph is just going to try and well, if there's this many people running around calling themselves the Bandit King,
With
there's
a
probably
7?
going to Yeah. There's probably going to be a lot of money to be made in investigating stuff for people and getting back their goods.
That's the
So,
theory.
yes. I think what I'll do is I will um start investigating who needs what returned um in town. That way I can start making a quick buck, but also get myself ingratiated into certain circles.
Hmm. Okay, I'm trying to think what's the best way to go about this. Give me another persuasion check. And this is going to be you advertising your services.
I think a bursker on the side of the road does a lot better advertising themselves than I do right now. I've got another 7.
Uh, yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to like get up there with the nobles. In fact, too many people remembered you as weren't you the guy who got hauled out of the mage school? You know that's your reputation. Of like, oh yeah, and you're the guy who rode in with the dragon born king guy who was just like hanging out the cart like a labradoodle, waving to everybody. So a lot of people are a little bit hesitant. Um, there is one kid who like, oh, can you help me find my lost sword?
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
give you a copper.
Okay, that's so sweet. I'll just do this for the kid for free.
Okay. Uh, Basically, by the time he's done describing it, you realize that he just had a stick that was his sword, and then he dropped it, and a dog must have taken it.
I actually am going to probably do something that most people are going to look at and go, that was a stupid thing to do.
You're going to give him a real sword.
I do actually have a spare short sword. All right. Okay, I'm going to listen to this kid describe what he was doing with the sword, how he was playing with everything
Oh,
around him.
well, we were all playing pirates and swashbucklers, and I had this really cool sword, and I was using it to wallop everybody. And then my mom called, so I had to go. And when I came back, the sword was gone.
So, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Uh, well, mom says I'm going to have to be a shipping clerk because that's what dad is. But I want to be a powerful warlock, and I want to cast spells, and I want to hit people with my strong sword of flaming ice.
Okay. So I kneel down to look this kid eye to eye, and I go, yeah, but if you become a warlock, you're going to have to deal with some half-baked deity who's probably going to order you around quite a lot.
No, no, those are priests. Dad told me about them.
Yeah, but warlocks still have to deal with them too, because how else do they get their power?
They find a book and then they read it and then they throw magic around and then they go and they collect cool weapons.
That's a mage.
Yeah, like I said.
There's a there's a difference between them.
So can you help me get my sword back or not? Because
I'm going to have to do a wisdom save on this real fast.
like you're trying to explain the details of mechanics to a 5-year-old.
Oh, he's 5?
He offered you a copper to help him find a stick.
Okay.
He's just
All
old
right.
enough to be wandering around with his friends. So between 5 and 7.
Okay. I'm going to slide my bag off from my shoulder, and I'm going to pull out 1 dagger and 2 gold. And then I'm going to look at him. I'm going to say, do not take this dagger out of its sheath until you get to your mum. Take these 2 gold up to her and say that you want fencing lessons.
Okay.
I will watch you to make sure that from this point that I have given you these, you go to her and do that.
His eyes are just like big as saucers as he's, waiting for you to officially put these things where he can grab them.
All right. I hand them to him.
Okay.
And as a child of this age does, I am going to keep an eye on him as he runs through the town with his bright, shiny 2 gold coins and his shiny dagger to make sure that he doesn't take the dagger out and to make sure that he does go back to his home.
Okay. I want you to make a watch the small child check.
And that what would that be?
What do you think that's going to be?
Investigation?
That'll work.
I'm going to use my trick roll.
You're really going to burn it this early? I mean, I've already rolled for the kid. I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking a question.
All right, if he's rolled a 9 or above, he's going to win this.
Okay, so he takes these things. He says, "Thank you, sir." And he runs off. "I'm rich. I got a sword and I got money. Mom, I got so much money." He rolled a 1. He's yelling this at the top of his lungs through a crowded street. Lots of people just looked at him.
I'm going to follow him, and I'm going to make sure that none of these people who are staring at him follow him as well.
Okay.
I am going to make sure that this kid gets to his home unmolested.
Well, you said you rolled what, a 9?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's running through the street, bragging to everybody. I'm going to say that most of the people who are, watching this with interest, well, I mean, everybody is fairly confused. Some are just assuming it is a kid who doesn't know any better, except that some of them see that he's waving around a gold coin in broad daylight. There are definitely some people who are going to follow him. You with a 9 see 2. They are not connected. They are just both people who are like, this kid's got money. This kid doesn't need money.
All right, I'm going to stealth through the crowd with a 15 to keep an eye on those 2 guys. And I'm going to also try and keep an eye on the kid as much as I can. And
I am also rolling on behalf of guards and, public officials. Okay. So now let's roll for the people that you are following. And you rolled what, a 15, you said?
15 for stealth, yeah.
Okay. All right. So one of those people, he's just a common, beggar who, but he does lock eyes with you long enough to realize, yeah, this, I ain't that bad of a person. The other one doesn't notice you at all. He's kind of got a bit of a skeevier look to him. Skin's a little pale, kind of got that sagging look, like he's probably not really, food isn't his primary concern.
Oh no. That guy. Oh, that guy's going to be trouble. All right.
Well, based on the stains, he probably is a little malnourished. He doesn't seem to be keeping much food down. Or maybe he's just, sleeping out by the pigsties. It's kind of hard to tell, honestly.
With my stealth, could I easily walk up to this guy and sleight of hand a gold coin into his hand? That way he leaves the kid alone.
Um, yeah, I think you could manage that.
Oh, wow. 25 for the sleight of hand. So he now has a gold coin to keep him off the kid's back.
Obviously, it's pretty hard to put gold into a person's hand without them noticing it. So he got a 20, but with your 24, he doesn't know it was you. So he stops for a minute. He's really confused how he just got gold. And let's check his wisdom. I mean, that kid has a couple of gold, and apparently gold's just kind of magically appearing right now.
Yeah.
This is like he rolled well enough that I have to decide this. He's going to see what happens if he continues on this path, because he just got gold for doing this.
God.
I mean, he did get distracted. Let's give the kid another chance to slip away. Okay. The kid apparently, this put enough space in between. I'm having to roll for so many different people right now. He really did get distracted by the gold in his hand, and the kid is small, so you might have created enough diversion.
So I am going to keep on the kid's tail this time with a 20 on investigation as I continue to make sure that the kid gets to where he wants to go.
Yeah. Okay. With that, you do see that the kid is doing, taking the normal shortcuts that kids seem to know about, and they're more willing to take over, say, adults who might have a problem, jumping over fences or squeezing through things. So you're able to follow as he starts to take, the shortcut paths. But and the creepy guy lost sight of him, so you did a good thing there.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keep following along this kid to make sure that he gets to where he gets to his home.
This time, because he's taking, shortcuts, give me a dexterity check to follow him through.
Acrobatics, athletics, or
whichever one you feel is right. Yeah. He's doing the thing where he's like ducking through alleys and going through holes in fences type of thing.
I just rolled a nat 1.
You are trying to squeeze through he moved a board and went through. You were trying to do it, but you got hung on a nail. And then when you turned, the board came back, smacked you in the face. He got an 18 on the die. He's gone. But you didn't see him open up the sheath once during that, let's call that like a 20-30 minute following sequence. He's probably headed home.
Okay. Rubbing my face, like as if doing that will repair my pride, as I stand up, check my armor, and just start to wander through. And I'm going to try and find some merchant to bug for information. No, I'm going to go to a tavern.
Okay.
I'm going to plop myself down at the bar, still rubbing the bridge of my nose.
Let's have just a little bit of fun with this, because I want to see what kind of bar you get. Just roll me a flat D20. Because there are taverns, and then there are taverns.
I got a 4.
4. Okay. You find I will say with a 4, are you going for cheap, or are you going for something, you're not finding anything like too high class in this region? But
I'm just trying to find a bar, where a tavern where people come to just drink their sorrows away and talk about their problems with the bartender, because the bartender union must have some way of making sure that they have ways of getting information out to people so that they can do work.
I'm going to say, since that's the sort of place you're looking for, and with a 4, you're going to find a place where the bartender doesn't openly tell you to shut up, but you can find a working class bar.
Sit down at the bar with my fingers on the bridge of my nose, and I look down to one of the cups that one of the other patrons are holding, and I'll have what he's having.
Okay. Uh, I'm having fun with this. Let me just see. Okay. He assumes you don't want the lace milk that Tabaxi was drinking, so he pours you an ale.
I look at him and I go, "What's wrong with what he's having?" And I start sipping it very slowly, and I hand over a silver coin for
You're
the
like,
ale.
I mean, I'll give you what the Tabaxi's drinking, but I mean, if your life's that bad, just go ahead and throw yourself off the pier.
Okay.
If you want to make a history check for me, or just an intelligence check in general.
I'll do a history check. 19.
19. Okay, basically what he's saying is that, especially for a cat folk, things will hit you differently. So you just did the equivalent of walking into a dwarven bar and asking for the top shelf when you are a gnome. You can drink what they're drinking, but he's not responsible for your internal organs if you do this.
Good call, sir. So I'm kind of on the lookout for any sort of information. Mainly because I'm looking for some work. You wouldn't happen to know.
There's some whalers that are, willing to take on any hands that, as long as you don't get too seasick, they don't seem too picky right now.
I could work on my cutting skills, cutting off blubber. What else have you got? Have you heard?
What kind of work are you looking for? Because the mage school, if you don't mind, getting fireballs thrown at you, they're hiring. Heard just the other day that a couple of nincompoops stayed out there long enough to actually get themselves killed. They had to be drugged through the streets, bleeding and burnt. Oh, it was hilarious. I didn't get to see it. I'm just, that's just what everybody said.
I just take a long, hard swig of the ale. Yeah, this is good ale. Anything else?
Well, I mean, there's always somebody out there's hiring for something. I don't exactly keep a job board. Job board's outside. You can see if there's any postings out there you like.
Just start rolling a couple silver pieces through my fingers. So you've not anything that's not on the job board that you haven't heard then?
I'm just gonna say, based on the clientele, for one thing, you can tell like this is like the workman's bar, not the super exclusive. He says, I mean, I got I know some crafters out that they're always looking for something a little bit experimental to work with. Most people don't really want to work with them because crafters make some really weird, and I'm not talking about like the blacksmith. I'm talking about the tinkers that have to work outside of town because their stuff blows up and kills people.
I place the silver coins down in front of them, and then I go, "Good. What's their names?"
Well, there's a few of them. There's Fizz Sprocket. He's mostly an alchemist, but they gotta kind of stay out of the city limits too. I've heard the half orc Tink. She's always looking for some new components for some of her contraptions. If you just head out that way towards the And he kind of points you towards where Tink and Bugger and some other crafters of that nature set up shop. About a mile outside of the actual town limits, because, well, when a gnomish contraption loses control, nobody wants to be within a mile of it.
Yeah, but this is Bugger. I'm amazed they don't have a 15-mile exclusion zone around his workshop alone.
Because he's
Okay.
technically outside of the city limits. They can't tell. They can't. I would say he's sort of like a wizard. You get outside of civilization, but close enough that you can still get your supplies.
I just thank him for that, and then I start heading off towards Tink and Bugger's workshop.
Okay. I am going to do some more random rolls because. Okay, so as you're going out that way, you see a couple of older gnomes, and I mean, like, they got beards down to their feet, type of older gnomes, who are currently arguing as one has a brass scorpion that has a flamethrower for the tail, which is currently being fighting like a golden alligator, and they're arguing about whose construction is better. I would. What's your passive wisdom? Basically,
Passive wisdom
what's
is
your
13.
wisdom? It's 13.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You think you could take these things in a fight, but you don't see the point in getting involved in this particular fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you I guess you specifically want to make your way over to Bugger and Tink. Yeah, because you got a history for them after all. You go into the shop. You don't see Tink anywhere, but you can hear some sounds in the back. But you do look over, and I don't want to call it a cage because that's not quite accurate. This would be more like a large hamster habitat. Like there's a workstation, there's some food and water that are clearly available to him, but Bugger is locked inside this habitat. He has a desk, he's working on some stuff, but it's very clear that he is being kept inside this for a reason.
I call back to the sounds of work going on. So this is a solution.
Bugger will actually be the first one to turn around to you. It's like, oh, hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Tink and Buggers. What can I do for you? And you hear, don't let him out.
I won't. I already know what he can do.
So that's going to defeat one of Bugger's immediate goals.
I just give Bugger a half smile and a wink though, and then I just stay right there at the customer's desk. So, Tink, you busy at the moment, or
yes?
You got?
Let Bugger handle it if you got an order, because Bugger has like a walkway he can come over to the desk and reach stuff.
Well, I'm actually looking for work and was wondering if you guys needed anything sane, because I think if I ask Bugger if you guys need anything, I'm going to end up with like 30 different types of electrified who's-a-whatsits.
Bugger will actually say, yeah, she's kind of in the middle of something kind of delicate, so you probably don't want to disturb her right now.
Okay, good. Like, okay, delicate to her is actually delicate. Delicate to you is pretty much like if you need godlike hands in order to keep her from exploding. So how have you been, Bugger?
Well, I've been doing okay. There was some weirdness a couple of months back, and but that's only made things more interesting for my side of things. Like, for example, he points over to a glowing box. If you hand me that, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We found some really cool crystals.
I just open up the box very slowly.
There are some glowing crystals in there.
Okay, what do these do?
Well, if you bring them to me, I'll show you.
Dude, last time that I did anything with one of your clones, they tried to not only cannibalize the others, but also tried to destroy.
Okay, you see, that's where your first mistake. Those were the clones. That process was faulty, and they all came out wrong. But unless you have an advanced degree in arcane studies, I'm not going to be able to just tell you what these things do.
Surprise me. I can actually understand quite a bit.
All right, I want you to give me an intelligence check at disadvantage.
Okay, so it's an intelligence check, not an intelligence save.
No, because you're not. This won't hurt you if you get it wrong.
Okay, 16.
16. Okay, he begins a very long. Okay, you actually, Kyle, you know a lot of things. So I want you to pretend for a second that you are describing not necessarily quantum physics, but you're explaining in detail a subject that the average person has passing familiarity with.
Oh, so Star Wars lore.
I was going to simplify it to basically a mechanic is explaining exactly how a combustion engine runs. Most of us know the basics of it, but we don't need to know how the carburetor fits into all this. That's what he's doing. So you understand these are different power sources that seem to be elementally attuned. He's just going the long way of explaining how if you hook them into different things, you get different effects.
Oh, so that explains how when you hooked in the lightning one, you suddenly managed to clone yourself about 7,000 times.
Only 99, and that was just a pure power source. That was condensed lightning. This right here is like, hand me the box, I'll show you.
No, I'm not going to hand you the box because if
I
you're
can't trust you to pick them up. You might burn yourself.
I managed to handle the one that you actually used to clone yourself with.
And that one was stable-ish. Kind of. You almost also you this isn't Bugger, this is Andy. You guys electrocuted yourself with that thing while running with it.
That's true.
If Gilith hadn't had some basic, actually, I don't know. I don't think he does have resistance. Yeah, you almost killed yourself trying to carry that thing. And these are the ones he says be careful with.
I just lift up the pant leg and show the Modron leg that I've got. I'm like, I'm all right.
Okay, we can get you a better one than that. In fact, hey, throw me one of those crystals. I'll make you one that'll let you fly. You can have a rocket leg. I got the base components around here somewhere. He runs over to his little workstation. He's going to build you a better leg.
I'm just going to sit down at the customer desk and I'm going to watch this now. Just be like, that's how you distract him.
He's like, okay, give me the orange crystal.
All right, I'm going to use. Is Tink still smacking on stuff in the back?
Yeah, you might have like a 15-30 minute wait. But you got Bugger over there, just like.
It's below a 10, so I'm going to hand him the orange crystal.
Okay.
I
want you to make a Constitution save for me.
Oh, Jesus criminy.
What did I just tell you about these crystals?
20!
20. Okay. You realize very quickly it's not a good idea to hold this for long, so you toss it very quickly because you just grab something directly out of the oven without a mitt. So you're only going to take 1 burn damage from it because you throw it to him right fast. Bugger apparently is wearing thick gloves, so he takes it and he starts to wire up this thing. I need you to make a dexterity save for me.
Oh.
I don't have Bugger's stat block in front of me, so I'm just kind of freestyling what he does. What
15.
was your 15?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me roll a couple more dice. All right, it's only going to be with that, you'll only take 3 points of burn damage as the boot explodes. Yeah, that gets Tink's attention real quick. What just happened out there?
He exploded the leg he was working on for me.
An angry half orc comes out of the back room with a red hot hammer in her hand. Why did you give him the crystal?
I point to my Modron leg.
Okay, yes, you need something better, but she recognizes you now. You're the one who said you gave him the lightning crystal the first time.
No. I stole the crystal, sold it to the fence. The fence gave it to him.
I want you to make a persuasion check.
22.
Okay, that's like, okay, I can't blame you for that one, but I can blame you for this one.
Is anything actually? I look around the workshop. Is anything actually on fire?
Well, part of the desk that is on, he managed to point it mostly towards the cage, which sort of melted, and you do see scraps of clothes where he jumped out of the cage.
He did that on purpose, didn't he?
No, this was entirely just he crossed a couple of wires. I promise he was trying to build a rocket leg for you. But now he's free. It's like, I told you that wasn't going to hold you for long, Tink. And he's running over to one of his contraptions.
I lasso him.
Okay, make a lasso check.
Is that athletics or is that
I'll
say it's athletics.
No, that's not athletics. That would be like using a whip. So make a dexterity check because you don't have whip proficiency. So you're just trying to yank out a rope and tie him up right quick.
18.
18. I'm gonna say that yeah, that's enough to get him tangled up. Tank's just over there rubbing her head. You are now struggling to try to hog tie Bugger, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just pull up a stat block for Bugger. I can't believe it's going to that. This is what happens when nobody shows up for the day. We get weird. And I know I've got a Bugger stat block in here somewhere. Okay.
This is so amazing.
I want you to this is probably an outdated one, but it'll work. I want you to make a dexterity check for tying him up now.
Oh, can I do that with sleight of hand?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. 9.
9. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work because he is going to he's going to pull out a contraption and he kind of he vanishes in a puff of smoke and appears on the other side of the building. So it's going to be like that, is it? I need you to roll initiative.
21.
21. Okay, that definitely beat him. Tink just walks out of the room at this point. You get to go first.
I'm going to start running towards him with rapiers drawn, going, Tink, is this the real one?
It's on you now.
All right. I'm going to just beat the shit out of him and knock him out.
Okay. I want you to make a roll for that.
24 for the first rapier to hit.
Okay, that hits.
7 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to follow up with the second one.
Okay.
For 16.
16. That does not hit.
Oh fuck.
So now Bugger is mad. He's like, okay, I was just trying to be nice, but now you're going and trying to get in my way. He's going to take out a small device that basically coats you in flame, but it's not. I want you to make. Let me see what this needs to be. Because yeah, he focuses on your rapier, which begins to glow red hot, and yeah, you are going to take 2d8 fire damage if you don't drop it.
Okay, I am going to which one is it is he doing this to? Is it the one in my offhand or the one in my main hand?
The main hand, because that's the one you hit him with.
All right, I'm going to drop the one in my main hand.
Okay. I will say King Giles, I'll catch you up real quick. You've been following Joeseph around, and he decided he wanted to take on some work over with Tink and Bugger. Bugger was being kept in the equivalent of a hamster habitat, and Joeseph accidentally let him out by giving him a fire crystal, and then he tried to hog tie him and put him back in. Bugger has objected by starting a fight with him. If you want to get involved in that fight, you can roll initiative right now and get involved, because we're literally in the first round. Tink has said, nope, this is on you, and left the room.
Joeseph will yield unless it goes south.
Okay. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just trying to double check how heat metal works. Okay, actually, I misread that. You will be taking this fire damage. You get to drop it after that if you so choose. But you take 9 points of fire damage, and your rapier is still burning hot. So you can now choose to drop it.
Yeah, I will drop it. Pull out one of my spare pull out my remaining dagger, and I'm going to bop him over the head with the. I'm going to pretty much be like this: toss rapier into main hand, pull out dagger, and smack him in the face with the hilt of the rapier.
Okay, so you're going for non-lethal damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is 23 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
For 10 damage.
Okay. All right. So Bugger is going to he like has a couple of gloves that are like on his belt. He just slides his hands right into them, and they begin to glow. What was your AC?
AC is 16 currently.
Okay. I mean, the 27 was definitely going to hit you anyway. But I just needed to know because, I don't want to keep asking this question. I will forget. But so you're going to take 9 points of thunder damage as he punches you with a thunder glove.
I'm going to.
He's not done yet.
Oh, God.
As he says, I was trying to be nice, but no more. And he snaps his fingers, and one of the piles of junk shakes, and his protector cannon comes out. And it probably shouldn't do this in a close range, but it's going to do it anyway. I'm just trying to see what its attack is exactly.
With that, Giles would interpret that it is going south, so he will. He will drop
you can
SOS
go ahead and roll, and we'll work you into the next round.
Yeah, that's when it's like, okay,
Okay,
drop forth SOS and go for the cannon.
Yeah. it doesn't give me an exact number on the force cannon. This was built a while back for Bugger, so but it's definitely going to hit not Gila. It's going to hit Joeseph with its force cannon. You are going to take 12 points of force damage and be pushed 5 feet away.
I'm going to use my reaction to cut that down to 6.
Okay. You still get pushed back. Now that I actually need Gila, what was your initiative?
My initiative was 6.
Okay. You somehow go after you will go just before Bugger somehow.
Yeah.
He rolled that badly.
Wonderful.
Okay. Gilith, you just it's Joseph's turn. Joseph, you just got shot with a junk cannon. Bugger's just over there, thunder gloves. All right, you want some more prosthetics? We'll make room for them.
I'm going to stab him through the arm so that his arm is pinned down to the ground.
All right, that's going to be we're going to say that's a called shot. That's going to increase its difficulty quite a bit. But if you can do it, we'll see if it can pin him or not. But
Okay.
because you're aiming for a small arm on a small creature, it's going to be a hard shot for you.
I'm using my trick roll for this.
Okay.
And it is a 42.
42. Okay, we're going to say that yes, you stab him through the arm, you pin one of his arms down. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
It's going to be 9 damage.
Okay. So I want you to properly describe that, because with a 42, and you're getting the added benefit of pinning him, but describe it to me still.
It's just as he's waving around his arm, I imagine that he's going like this the entire time, like bring it.
Yeah, he's
I'm
a little
yeah, I'm just going to look at my rapier, look at his arm, and then look at his face, and I'm just going to switch my positioning on the hilt of it so that it's more like this, as I just swing down into his arm, catching it between the bones, and then just pin it and sink it into the ground.
Okay. He's letting out I'm going to say it's somewhere between pain, shock, and a little bit of anger, but he lets out a cry for that. Do you have anything else you want to do this turn?
I'm going to I'm going to use the dagger in my offhand to just take his hat off and then just hold it out in front of his eyes and just go, could you stop, please?
Okay, Gilith, it is now your turn.
We're going for the cannon.
Okay.
First swing towards cannon was going to be a 15 total.
All right. I'm trying to see. I'm pretty sure I've got something for the cannon in here. I'm going to give it the slightly less armor than him. A 15 does not hit, though.
Okay, so we're going for the second swing.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. 21.
21, that'll hit.
There we go. That'll be 16 slashing.
Okay. 16. Okay.
Out.
Yeah. You put a bit of a damage on it.
So is it just like a pile of junk in form of a cannon, or is it just like a fully functional cannon disguised as junk?
Yes. Remember, this is a Bugger creation, which meant that it was made out of spare parts.
Yeah, because I imagine like if every time he hits, like some parts come off, but it just where it's like it's still stable somehow.
Oh yes, you can't tell. Like you knocked something off, but it's still up and it's still humming with power.
Exactly. And this, I would normally be if I was more tanky. I'd be like, and I stand forth the cannon to protect my mates, and it's just like I see what it can do. So I was I will make sure I'm not within blast radius.
Okay. So you're going to move away from it?
Yeah, just basically I moved up.
Now, because this is connected to him, I'm not going to call that an attack of opportunity. This is a long range attack weapon. So it doesn't get to shoot at you.
If I don't see the barrel can't see me.
So Bugger is he's really annoyed right now. And let's take a moment just to appreciate the meme. I didn't ask how big the room was. As he takes out, I want to show something else my brother got me from Galaxy's Edge real quick.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh no.
All right. Any guesses?
Not the mask. The mask I own.
Oh.
But if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. Like, so Bugger, he's got the one hand stuck. He's like, so that's how it's gonna be, huh? He takes out and he so gently tosses this into the middle of the room. I need everybody to make a dexterity save, please.
Okay. Goodness sake.
Oh, hey. If I pass this, I don't take any damage. So 20.
You managed to dive behind a crate that will shield you from the blast. How about yourself, Giles?
I like to thank my energy for this natural 20 towards a thermal grenade, possibly.
Okay. Yes. So I would like somebody who has access to D&D Beyond right quick.
Yes.
Just roll me 8d6, please, because I don't want to dig out that many. This is a fireball after all.
8d6, 29.
Giles, you take half of that. So let's be nice and make it 14.
Okay.
Now the building's on fire.
Yep, of course, naturally.
Yeah. And I just remembered, Joseph, didn't I say there was a crate of energy crystals nearby?
It was a small chest. It wasn't a full crate. It was a small
I said
chest.
a box.
How small are we talking? Are we talking about this small or bigger?
Yay.
Oh, yay, but okay.
Oh God, you've actually got a prop for that.
So we're talking about yay or
yeah, yay.
Yay.
Now, normally I don't think I feel this 100% has to happen. Now you've both made dex saves already, and they were pretty good dex saves. So, because I'm going to modify Joeseph just a little bit. You didn't dive behind a crate. You pulled the crate over you as a shield. And that's why you don't notice when all this energy starts flying around. Giles, you're only going to be taking half, but so you're going to take 4 cold.
Okay.
You're going to take 4 lightning.
Okay.
And then you will take I'm trying to think what's another good element.
Acid.
Yeah, you're going to take 5 acid.
5 acid.
Now Bugger is pinned to the ground when that one happens.
Oh my God.
And that's why he got a natural 1.
Oh boy.
Okay, I gotta start doing some side math here. He couldn't get away from his own fireball. That was 8. That was 8. That was 10. Thank you for tuning in for Andy Does Math.
Bye.
Wow.
We'll
That's
be right back after these messages.
that's 55 total damage to Bugger.
Goodness sakes.
Because there is I will say that Tink in back, you no longer hear the sounds of her working. I wonder if I have just a second. I gotta pull up another sheet here. It's about time that we see if I gave her. I used to have one for her. Yeah. Okay. But first off, Bugger just took 55 points of damage. So that's a lot. And that was only his first turn.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, his main action. I'm going to say with that particular blast, he probably got pushed away from the sword, but not in a clean method because the sword was in the floor.
Oh.
But that just means that he can use his nimble escape to hide. So let's see how well he hides. One second here. Okay. There's a lot of chaos. Bugger has just vanished into it. And Joseph, it is your turn. As you look out, as you pull the crate off of you, the whole place is there's blue fire at one spot. There is like a crackling storm building in another corner, and the whole place is just on fire with regular fire.
I just go, well, shit, I am possibly more damaging than Bugger. Tink's going to fucking hate me. And I am going to try and find Bugger.
Okay. He is hidden right now. So what's your passive perception? We'll work with that.
13.
13?
Passive perception is 13.
Okay, then you do not see him in this chaos.
I'm going to actively try and find him. Just
okay.
Like pulling my rapier out of the ground, going and grabbing my other rapier, which should be not having the effects of heat metal right now, stowing those.
Let me check his concentration. It's still glowing.
Even at half of 55, he still managed
to
make
the check only has to be 10 or higher. It's 10 or half the damage. Most people roll it as the 10.
Okay.
This is also Bugger. Trust me, this is his Bugger. I forgot some of the stuff. Yeah, it's still glowing. It's probably set something else on fire by itself.
My fuck.
I just leave the rapier where it is then, and I just go after him.
I still just can't comprehend. It's like, oh no, my friend's in trouble, and then instantly,
yeah, I know. This wasn't even supposed to be.
I was here for.
This was just supposed to be Joseph goofing off while he waited for you guys.
It's like I just got here.
Okay.
You brought out cannons and you brought out crystals. What kind of street fight is this?
Yeah, you destroyed the front of the workshop. Joseph, you're going to make an active search.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and take the mask off. Make your perception.
Okay, perception.
It can be either one, whichever one you're more comfortable with.
Oh. I rolled it as perception. I mean, if I had done investigation, it would have been 4 higher. So, but yeah, I'll keep it at perception. So that's 18.
Yeah, you're able to see a few drops of blood that are leading off towards the pile of junk that the cannon came out of, and so you're sure he's over in that area, but you don't see him specifically.
If he's by the cannon, he's possibly hiding still, but yeah, that's probably where he is right now. As I just start running for the cannon.
As you do that, you hear a very angry Tink behind you. What are you all doing? And I need everybody to make deck saves again. Because she didn't wait for an answer.
13.
Okay.
3.
3. Wow.
I mean, I took almost every color of damage just now, so I imagine it's like that. What's going on here?
Okay.
Just like.
Well, first off, you're going to take 13 bludgeoning damage as a couple of chunks of large ice hit each of you.
Oh my fudge!
I take half because even if I don't succeed, I only take half.
Yes, I thought that to be true. Let me get the rest of the dice.
Charles is just getting his shit out of him, and meanwhile Joseph. Whoosh, whoosh.
You then take 22 cold damage as the ice storm slams into you both. Joseph, you take half, of course.
So I take in total like 18 damage. Then.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to roll for Bugger in that. Okay.
I was waiting for. Wait, there's more.
Yes. Let's see. That was 22. And what did I say the bludgeoning was?
13.
13. Okay, thank you. So let me figure out where he's at. Yeah, Tink has officially entered the melee. Now, Giles, it is your turn.
Is it too late for parlay?
You can try. The ice storm is helping to put out some of the less magical fire.
I guess I imagine so. Giles is down to 10 health. What else can he do other than be an idiot? Don't answer that.
Ask her out for a date in the middle of all this. That's just.
Yeah, so I imagine because obviously his SOS in hand, so I imagine he sits down, gets down on knees, and say, "There's been a misunderstanding."
Yeah, there has been.
And then Giles just looks to Joeseph because he's got nothing.
And Bugger is still conscious. God help you all. As
I'm about ready to roll for religion to cry on any god.
I will let you do that.
Because imagine he's laid down his arm and then he's on his knees like, whoever receives this transmission, however prayer works, I need some help.
Make a religion check. Let's see if anybody hears you.
All right, that'll be a 14.
14.
I'm afraid who hears this transmission.
I will say you do have a trick roll available to you. I'm not saying you have to use it. Just saying it'd be incredibly funny if you suddenly call on divine inspiration.
No, I'll leave the roll as is.
The 14 is good. And you're just making a blanket prayer right now.
Yeah, just covering all bases.
Okay. You hear back. Next time, think before you attack an artificer in their own workshop. You're on your own, buddy.
All I ask, is it a male or is it a female scolding Giles?
I'm gonna say it's kind of a higher pitched voice.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think. Just make me a history check real quick.
You okay?
Oh.
17.
17. So you've spoken to a wide variety of races. You believe this to be a male kobold?
I know which god this is.
I don't, and I'm leaving that to be Giles lore too.
Okay.
He just hears that voice and it's just like he remains still in embarrassment.
Yeah. We're going to say Bugger is going to climb up onto his protector cannon, and he's going to just say, all right, now for the big finale. So I will say your other rapier stops glowing as he casts wall of fire around him. So everybody within, I'm just trying to see. Yeah, this is kind of going around. Yeah, you all need to make dexterity saves again.
Okay.
25.
Okay,
10.
10. Giles, I'm going to be a little bit generous, and I'm going to say that you can just fall unconscious rather than actually roll this much damage.
It's just a moment that's just Giles feels like this is God's, this whatever is hearing him just smited him, and it
Yeah.
has a response.
I'm going to say, like, you know, because of your prayer, you're going to get a little bit of a bonus here.
Okay.
You're not going to be fully unconscious after all. Instead, as the building is falling in on itself, it falls in such a way that it shields you from most of the heat, but you are out of this fight all the same.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, the fight is mostly over because with the building falling down on top of everybody, Bugger is just going to ride his cannon off in the opposite direction now.
Sorry, I punched my mic. Sorry.
But Joseph, as you turn around in the rubble, Tink is just fuming at you right now. And it's your turn. There's a wall of fire that's going to prevent you from following after Bugger. You can just hear him as he calls off, "Yippee-ki-yay!"
I just look at Tink and I went, I was originally just coming here to set you up on a date with Giles, and this happened. I can't even do that right.
You know, I honestly didn't think she could get any angrier looking. It is still your turn, and you just said that. You can decide what you do from here.
Actually, how far away is Bugger?
Well, there's a wall of flame blocking your view. You just heard him right off. Now, I will say the building is falling down upon itself, not in a way that's going to hurt you, but there's a clear exit if you decide you want to run too.
I'm just gonna look around, and then I'm going to grab Tink, and I'm going to start pulling her towards away from the collapsing building.
I just want to make sure the furious half orc, you're going to go near her, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I deserve everything that's about to happen.
Yeah. I'm just trying to pick the right one here. So this is going to be a straight up attack. And she is at, yeah. Okay. So you're going to get hit with an acid arrow. Let me start rolling damage. 8. And because she's upcasting it, 11. And I'm going to use one of my trick rolls to multiply one of these damage dice. Because I never told you guys you could do that, but you can. So, if I am doing my math right, that was a lot of D4s. Joseph, the biggest green noxious arrow you've ever seen in your life is coming straight for you, and you're going to take 23 points of acid damage as it burns its way through your flesh.
I am still standing.
Oh,
was
sorry,
gonna say, please.
I did miss. No, I'll keep that. Yeah. You're still standing, sure, but that wasn't even her most powerful attack, and she's still mad at you on a personal level. Joeseph, it's your turn.
So much has happened in the spawn of like, what has gone, like 18 seconds?
Yeah. You were kind of off in your own little world following Joeseph around, and all of a sudden, chaos.
I heard like cannon, and then
Yeah.
God help me, then
You are now in, like, there's a box over you, shielding you from everything, but it's got holes. You can see out.
it's like in like a peephole fashion.
I'm going to say like a shrapnel fashion.
Oh, shrapnel. I guess you'll ask out to Joseph, what's the plan?
Get Tank out of here before the building fully collapses, repay for the damages, and then get the fuck on the trail of the tiny goblin who is now riding around an attack cannon.
Okay, there was a lot there. What do you want me to do? I should have asked.
Tink will look over at the box. Get out of my building.
All right, he's gonna use all of his muster to get through and escape.
So you're just going to Metal Gear Solid your way out with the box, or are you just going to get up and run?
I'm gonna bust through and get myself out.
Okay.
The
The box shatters as Joeseph, like from an anime, runs out of the building. Yeah. So you can get outside. Everybody's kind of gathered around watching. Most of them brought snacks. I will say,
is there like a convenient stall that is pulled
yes.
up?
Someone actually, and like there's a couple of them, because they got like portable, like they put it on the ground, hit a button, and the stand builds itself. You are pretty sure this is so common in the artificer alchemist region that they're just ready for when somebody's shop explodes.
I imagine he just gets out there. He's just like, he's coughing up any kind of soot, and then you just hear it's like, "What do you think this time? New guy? Nah, there's been a new guy in that facility for years. I think it must have been an accident. Are you sure?" And just standing there.
Yeah, there's a couple of constructs that are controlling the spread of fire.
And this child will just use his bonus action with second wind and his action to pop at his water skin. And
I was going to say, somebody's going to offer you a lemonade.
I imagine like, but so, oh, just falling. This is great.
I just imagine that there's another construct just flipping the sign that says there has been this many days since an accident, and instead there has been this many hours.
There's it had to be hours. I was gonna say.
It was like it was almost up to a full day. It had gotten to like 13 hours, and now there's like 0 hours. There was days at one point. They had to mark that out though, because they never made it a full day.
Another construct coming in just with red paint marking out where it's crossed out with days. It's now going and then says minutes. There's just crossing it out, going from minutes to just
it's not that big of a sign. It was just at one point, it had days, and then but Joseph, you particularly are inside this building with an absolutely furious half-orc Tink. I feel furious Tink should be enough to give you an idea. In fact, make a wisdom check before you do anything else.
13.
13, that's just enough for you to think this is the person who keeps Bugger in line. You can now do whatever you want with that knowledge.
So, like, I was originally coming through to get work, but also to set you up with Joeseph, because just like you're the controlling factor to Joeseph, he's my controlling factor, but I did this on my own, so it didn't work out
It
how
is
I thought.
absolutely amazing to me that you can keep making her matter.
But like, if I don't get you out of here, the building's going to collapse, and that's going to be even worse than me just fucking this up beyond all belief. So you can stab me, and I can help you get out of here, or
Fried Joseph will be on the menu later today.
So you're just trying to reason with her right now, right?
yeah.
Okay. I'm not even going to ask you to make a persuasion check because I feel you are too far past that with all the times you've insulted her. Whether you meant to or not isn't really the point at this stage. Because let me just see what happens when this one goes up to let's see. Okay, and it is how many to start with? Okay, so I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm not going to tell you anything about what I'm doing at the moment. So,
I'm just gonna put this out here. That way Jess knows exactly what Joeseph has fully done today. Joeseph has given a small child 2 gold coins and a sharp implement. Gone looking for work and then ended up here and done this.
If I was playing any other character, I would question all levels of sanity of Joseph. But since I'm pure neutral, it's on the levels of this is new, but within the parameters.
Tink, absolutely pure rage in her eyes. I mean, like, you're having flashbacks to the times you've been in conflict with a barbarian. That level of rage. As she launches magic missiles directly at you, you're going to take a grand total of 13. No, that wasn't right. Hold on a second. I said that was. Okay, yeah. 28 points of force damage as they all collide into you.
I am down.
Okay. Gileth, you hear there's a lot of bright lights. There's a scream of pain. And then Joseph's body just comes flying through the opening and lands at everybody's feet. Somebody will walk over, pop open a vial, pour some healing potion on him to stabilize him. All right, everybody, show's over. And everybody starts, like they buy a few more treats, but they go on about their day.
I will. I almost said pick Joseph by the scruff, but whatever scruff is there, just and bring it to softly set him against the wall, and just get down to eye level and wait for him to gain consciousness.
I fucked up, didn't I?
I'm not gonna say such vile words, but
an old gnome comes by. You fucked up.
Well, needless to say, we're alive, thankfully. So, not a win, But it could have been worse. And before you say how it could have been worse, you could have had your corpse taken and made into whatever any artificer wanted you for.
And above, as your eyes sort of begin to focus past Gileth, you see a streak of fire as Bugger flies through the air.
I think it can't get much worse.
Giles will hand you what's left of his lemonade. Here, drink up.
No. I was trying to get you a date.
The building collapses further in on itself.
Really? This is all
Yeah.
this was?
Yeah. I mean, imagine if I was actually trying to be competent for once at something. Oh dear God, how much worse could it be? But still.
I'm a king, not a prince. I don't require a princess to win the kingship. I question your low levels of sanity on this decision.
He managed to blow me out of a pretty large building and kill me, pretty much.
I know, I was there.
I mean, she's got brains. She can bash people's heads in. She keeps Bugger in check when he's actually, not being a little evil shit. You two are pretty much made for each other.
If I wanted a matchmaker to make me a match, you're going to be the last person on that list.
All right, Heidel. I mean, it's not like as if I ended up with you being exiled out to some bitterly cold area that only potatoes can be grown in.
All right, Joseph, I'm gonna be even more curious at whatever the fudge you just said. All right. So let's just say we hoity-toity and got together. What was the next plan? Because I'm pretty sure you're planning the next wedding. I would love to see what your wedding plans would be like.
Oh, there was going to be silver dragons.
Oh God, you were planning this all along.
There was going to be blue and green tapestries and just cogworks everywhere, gold cogworks.
This is what happens when I leave you alone. Are you just constantly making plans upon plans?
I just kind of look at him and I go, I'm a rogue. What else am I going to do?
I don't know, pickpockets, steal from the poor, get to the rich. I don't know. Before I met you, I've only known one rogue in my life, and she was known for chopping off limbs and going on murder frenzies, and then the occasional pickpocket or pocket. Sometimes she would put things in pockets, which is sometimes it's just as bad.
Yeah, I do that too, but.
Yeah, because when I met you, you did all the normal rogue stuff that I'm used to. But then this keeps happening where you say, I have an idea, then explosions.
Somebody comes walking by with a green hand.
Is that a goblin hand?
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go put it into storage.
Isn't that's Buggers?
Only goblin around here. Well, he's not actually around here at the moment.
No, he's more like flying off in that direction. I have nothing else to do. I can't steal from people because that will end up with, head chopping off. Though at this point, yeah, there's not much difference between stealing from people and this.
I want you to really think long and hard what we just went through and what you just said.
Well, asking me to think is kind of like a bit of an issue here because I think quite constantly and look.
So at this moment, Giles' like teeth start gathering lightning, and he's like, "Give me another reason I should not just point blank lightning right into your very eye sockets right now."
Because you still want me to be the one to kill you?
The lightning goes away. Uh-huh.
And who else can roast the marshmallows just the way that you like?
That was you all this time, not the chef. I gave
Dude,
him a bonus. It was so good.
Somewhere miles and miles away, there's a smoke method who's just like leaning back on his pile of whatever Giles. What do you give him as a bonus?
Burn it.
Just imagine it's just like whatever spoils he came back from most of his adventures, whether
He's sitting on a pile of melted chocolate constructs.
it's just this moment. It's like, what?
He's just like reaches down and he's just eating a big gob of caramel. Okay, back to the disaster that Joeseph made.
I mean, what? You didn't realize that there wasn't a change from when we were out camping, doing things to try and get famous, and then suddenly we're out in the middle of a castle? Oh.
I'm Joeseph, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry about this.
Is that the moment now? Like all the good times are rushing to Giles' head in like full force montage, sweet music playing.
There is one thing I am going to say, and I don't do this one very often, but Giles is the voice of reason. I think I've got to give you a spare trick roll for that. I'm going to take one out of my pool and give it to you.
Because there are so many moments where it's like he's reflecting back like all the plans that Joeseph had and the gung-ho attitude, and he's stuck with his, whether it kills him or not, is only gonna get to destination.
But I think we all need to take a moment and say Giles was the voice of reason. That deserves a reward. Back in the actual workshop, you hear the sound of Tink working again as the front office collapses into a heap.
I think we need to get an invoice for this, and we might be paying it off for, well, I might be paying it off for a very long time.
Or we forward it to the castle and let the person who takes over be the one to take care of the invoice.
I look at Giles and I go, "You're not an elected official. We can't do that. And you've got more honor than that."
I want you to remember who you're talking to when you say honor. I'll gladly hit someone with the SOS in the nutsack any chance I get.
Well, yeah, you're also the same guy that chucked an old lady out through a window, so.
Yep. Yep.
To be fair, though, somebody should have done that to her when she was a child.
It won't be the first time a kingdom has fallen, and it won't be the last if the kingdom I have fall under my discretion. I learned that word. Withers used to use it a lot. I started to catch on to it.
Try it over here. Oh, God. I can't breathe.
Hey, let's get you away from the smoke.
Talk amongst yourselves.
He's just saying, and let Kyle catch his breath for a moment. So during this time, like Giles is just guiding him like an inn or just like somewhere for sanctuary. So
you see that the other crafters, they've already started like have a few constructs that are bringing out lumber. You think that there's actually a plan for when somebody blows up their place of business. But you head back to the main city. There is one traveling merchant who's nearby. He's got like a stand that says Cornelius's clever contraptions. He's out there. In this world filled with malicious magics, you need items that you can depend on. From the ingenious mind that's brought you such devices as the portable hole maker, the movable rod. It is the bag of excellent expansion. And he's holding up a bag, and I absolutely stole this from TikTok.
I had a feeling I was not gonna say, but okay.
Oh no, I'm gonna, if I could remember his name, I give him full credit. I will, so sorry, Cornelius. I forget your screen name. I just remember you as Cornelius. But the bag, he's undoing some latches, and it expands to half again as big as it was. We also have the staff of animal friendship. He holds up a stick that has got like a string hole from it. Like, you just tie on the critter's favorite treat, and we guarantee you will have an advantage in making them your new friend. Cornelius' clever contraptions is not responsible for being eaten.
It's just at this moment where just like, as he's kind of like almost like fireman's carrying Joseph, he just let them hears that and just like, hang on, this may be something that Joseph likes, and he just turns with Joseph.
Yes, sir, my good man. What can I get for you?
I look at Giles and go, I don't deserve it right now.
You say that as Giles pushes you towards him. I don't deserve.
And Cornelius is holding out the portable hole maker right as you push Joeseph forward. Basically, you get a shovel to the face.
And I am knocked out once again.
Thank you. And he tosses a golden carry Joseph.
Cornelius's companion nap time. Got to work on that name.
So it's in the city, worse than nearest inn or tavern.
You go back to a tavern that Joeseph, if he was awake, would remember. It is a working class tavern. It's got, like mostly some sailors and some carpenters type, that level of working stiff.
Yeah, so just where it's like, is there a place where we can easily sit for?
Yes.
Table for two.
We're used to people being carried out, not carried in.
Long day, long story. Table, please.
Right over there.
There you go. Set Joseph down in the chair and get an upright.
They'll bring you over some ale. Actually, they're going to bring Giles some ale. They're just going to bring water for Joeseph.
Just when no one's looking, he'll just take the water, splash on Joseph. Wake up!
No, we didn't do that robbery. Stop waterboarding me.
I'm sorry. Did I bring back some bad memories?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Can't be any more sorry than I am.
All right. This is what we're gonna do. we're gonna put a pause on any thoughts that are going through your head or any of the thing we're gonna progress, and we're just gonna, as people call, we're just gonna chill. Okay?
But, but, I
Go on.
he just pulls out. He just since you say that, he just pulls out a stencil of a whale with a crown, and then he puts it on the table, and then he's just like tracing his finger around through it.
No. This is what we're gonna do. He's gonna take out a set of dice. We're gonna play a game. No stakes, nothing. It's an easy game that I've learned while I've been on the road. It's called sevens. And you just show like they're all D6s. There's 6 of these. You roll them, and anything that add up to the number 7, you take out. And the remaining are the many points that you have. And you try to see who scores the most points. And then he'll just put the meat in the middle. Winner takes a sip. You game?
I think, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Joeseph will go first. He rolls his dice. Let's see. A lot of you see a 5, a 6, a 2, 2 other 6s, and a 4. So like while he's sorting through, it's like, all right, Joeseph, I got a little bit curious. Since you're say you wish to be a rogue, and I say you usually do things that rogues usually do the opposite of. How about we go way back? What made you become an adventurer? What was the inspiration? Was it something must have made you click and say, this is the life for me?
Yeah. Joseph rolls his, and it's just, is it supposed to be just 2 dice that make up the 7, or is it any
2 for the
combination?
7.
Yeah. So he rolls a 1, a 5, a 3, a 1, 2, and a 3. So he pulls out 2 dice from his set.
Yeah.
You guys, well, it was when I got kicked out of the Wizards Academy because I need to find a way to, get some cash real quick. And psionics aren't, very big in most places. So I started, figuring out where people would go to need to get stuff done. So first off, I started off, with small stuff, being telepathic, sending messages, secretly between small guild members and them setting up their stuff, just to go between. And then, I came under my friend who was a ranger, and we started working together. And we pulled off a pretty big hit where we managed to get a caravan, and we looted the lockbox from all of them.
Since Jais, I got the more points, and he'll take the swig and then puts the bottle lock down. All right. And you just wear a loose get the dice to you. Now you can ask me something.
Why did you decide to take on the full responsibility of being the king?
Put it simply, I just saw the current rulers as unworthy, and it was just most of reaction. After when our first encounter, when meets underground, when it was by peer pressure to take the crown, did it without thinking. And then while we were in Avalia, I saw the ruler again as unworthy. Took inspiration from, hey, I led lizard folk and they decepted me. Let's get rid of this person. Again, no thought. It was just where I just felt that if there's anyone's gonna rule, it's gonna be me. And then he'll roll his dice. Was it idiotic? Very. Very idiotic. Ah, crap. 5.
Right. Okay. Stop that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to win this one. So that is for.
If it's more than 5, you win. He
Yep.
scoots the bottle to you.
Yep. I'll take a swig, and then I go. So, why did you leave military service originally then?
Basically, I was a loyal soldier way back then. Can't remember how many years. I don't keep track of the times. They say I was good friends with the king. Good man. Stood stood for good values, fought for his people. Was not afraid to draw forth the sword. In fact, he even led many charges to defend his kingdom. And all it took was a stray arrow to take him out. I defended his body until there was no one left. After a funeral, his younger brother took the crown. And a king that didn't dare even lift a finger, gave orders, loved the sound of his own voice. Wouldn't even sign his own signature on parchment. It was at that moment I was no longer loyal to the kingdom. I was excommunicated. Ordered to never show my face ever again, which wasn't a problem. Kingdom was better off of me for the many years I gave my service. But I was not going to just let all the strength and gear that I have go to waste, so look for bounty hunter work. Look for anything that would just test my blade or my strength, whether through fighting pits, through just assassin work, anything. And and then I found myself at the job board, and that's where I met you. By that time, I've rubbed up any level of signias off the armor I was wearing at the time, ensure that any chance if any passerbys would recognize the emblem, I would not be seen and reported in. Because who knows how kingdoms can expand and claim territories at this rate. Just through all that, I never imagined me at any level of rule, as I basically disregarded any level of kingship after that. Like any job that came my way that was involved kings, I disregarded anything. But I made the exception when we found that order of the dragon being trapped by a princess, because in the end, I was biased. Wanted to save my own kind, even if we're not directly through blood or however family trees work with between dragonborn and dragons. All right, that's 10 points for me.
20 points for me.
Here's the bottle.
Take another swig. Yeah. When we got into Iron Rook, we started planning something big. So there was a count, puppy little uppity little punk. He was bossing around the stonemasons. I mean, not that they don't have a strong union in and of themselves, but he was going after the smaller independent ones, trying to get them to work on his mansion. Mansion. Small little hovel. But yeah. So what we did was we lured him out to one of the alleyways that was out there in the stonemasons quarter, and we were just intending to rough him up, steal what he had on him, possibly the house key, go inside, steal everything he had in there, and then redistribute it out to the masons that he'd been screwing over. Instead, he grabbed one of my daggers and tried to attack us back, and tripped over his laces and ended up taking a full fall with the dagger ending up right into his heart. Can't say that wasn't better than what we had planned. I mean, permanently gone. But yeah, because of him yelling, we got some attention brought on to us, and we had to get out quick. But my friend that we broke out of Iron Rook, he was the one that got caught. Now, because he assaulted a nobleman, he had to be dealt with. So that's why they tossed him in. But the reason why he wasn't executed is because it was quite plainly evident that the Count had screwed himself over by not knowing how to properly handle weaponry. So, yeah.
I see. Well, I know there've been a thorn on your side, but I might as well tell you how I came across Yeslick. In fact, the first time we met was on the battlefield, and we were not exactly friends. In fact, we were from rival kingdoms. There are many times on that same battlefield that we crossed swords. She couldn't get through my tactics, and she would dodge anything I threw at her. After I left the kingdom, she heard word. She saw me as an arch rival. Saw like this was the moment that she had her chance, the moment she heard I was excommunicated. And we just found ourselves in the back area of a tavern. I had no coin to my name. She offered me a quick death. I countered her offer, so I wished to die as a warrior. Neither one of us could kill each other. We were both bloody. Barely could hang on to the cling of life. We both passed out. When I came to, she was asleep on my chest. It was a survival tactic. She was seeking any kind of warmth, even willing to curl up to her enemy. I recognize this tactic. And they're basically my enemy I fought against for years. I had the chance to end it and finally end this conflict. But after everything I lost, I decided if she wishes to kill me right here, right now, if this is a rogue tactic to lower my guard, I chose whatever consequence came my way. We did not anticipate friendship, but it was at that moment where we needed each other. And then we traveled on for many years, and then we parted ways as she got a job, and I got, and I had work where there was conflicts. We're not seeing each other for so long. Needless to say, upon her return, finding out I was king, she was just, she was more worried of why I did not keep in touch rather than me finding out that I had a kingdom suddenly. And needless to say, I was wondering how you two hit it off, and boy, howdy did you. Even if it was not in the best of terms.
Yeah, it's just Tower of West Rogues do things. Still need to get that bell off of her.
Yep, sounds about right. Mother, 6 points. What did you get?
Wait. You've got more than 6 points. You've got.
Imagine we're like now we're just hunched over. That's dice. It's like, say no.
You've got. Yeah, you've got 17. I've got 14. Slides the bottle over to you.
He just grabs it. He takes double swig. There. I believe that makes us equal.
I mean, in our line of work, mine and Yeslik's, we don't have very many people that we can trust outside of those that we're immediately working with at the time.
Yep, been there.
Yeah.
I remember like one of my early adventures when I was cast out. I met a ranger. It was all about the bow, and I mean all about the bow. Like for him to wield a dagger or a short sword of anything like that, it is purely last resort, and only that. And for me, it's like at the time I was. Don't laugh when I say this. I was beyond arrogant. I practically wore my ego like I wield my sword. I gloated. I took any level of, glory I could, even if it was purely manufactured. And needless to say, he would always be from the distance. I'd always be up close. Hated each other. Hated each other. Constantly mocked each other. Threatened to murder each other any moment we could. Yep, we keep coming back together when a job was needed. But again, hated each other's guts. No matter what. He scoffed at me being idiotic charging the battle. I would call him idiotic for how you don't even get the glory of the kill. You only get you get to see from very far of a corpse drop into the battlefield. Never heard from him again. And after all that, there's that just small part of me. I still hope he's okay.
Let's go find him then.
I'd rather not. Like I said, it's small. Like, it's really small. I want you to think like an ant. Smaller than that. Let's see what's smaller than an ant. A smaller ant. Smaller than the other ant that you picture of. Just really, really, really small.
I hold up the mead bottle. There you go. This. Big importance to everyone around. Tastes great. Gets everybody inebriated. Honey that it gets, the honey that you get from to be able to make it comes from the smallest little bees. Tiny. Tiny things lead to great big adventures that everybody enjoys. Why not?
I'm gonna put this very softly, Joseph. If we were to seek out this ranger, how many buildings and catastrophic damage would we be making on the way?
16.
What did you roll? Oh, that's the total of your dice. Okay. You just out of nowhere, you just go 16 and got Joseph Giles off guard. Like, what?
As the casual observer, I feel that's a good estimate, though.
Let's go with that then. Screw it. Straight up.
You're just having a moment out of nowhere. Joseph goes 16. Oh, right.
Now.
And then
Wow.
18. Double swig.
It's not the buildings that you burn down. It's why you burn them down.
Uh-huh.
Well, if they're all a bunch of orphan-eating trolls in every single building, you've done a lot better than, what I just did. I'm gonna be bored. I want to take on this, guy who this mythological bandit king. Whether or not there is one doesn't really matter. It's a pretentious title. You're the king of bandits. And you know what? Bandits are outside of the normal society. They don't have a king. They probably have a council that actually doesn't even do what it's supposed to do. It's just a bunch of hoity-toity people who think that they're the best thieves, but they're just really, really good manipulators.
Yeah. My experience with bandits is like there may be a leader or just a one with or simply a guy with a gun, but everyone is just only has daggers, so they have to listen to them. And or is a strong, respectable man, and then there's a pretentious quartermaster. So the boss would come in and be like, "All right, guys, we're gonna come together as a group, and we're gonna stand forth and do our best we can." And then the quartermaster, would be like, "You heard him."
Yeah, but you look at how most bandits act, though. They attack on opportunity, and what do they hit most often? The small little lone merchant who's just trying to, make a buck to be able to continue on to the next town. The big caravans, the ones that normally not only hide the cargo that they're taking on to the next town, but they've also probably got something else going on behind the scenes. That's the ones that need to be taken out because they're probably dealing in slaves on top of anything else.
I feel like we're delving from relative experience. Joseph, are we treading unfamiliar territory for you, or is this a story for another day?
Tell it now. I'm a thief, but I've got morals. I'm an assassin, but I only take out those who pick on the freaking little guy. Craftsmen just doing their job, merchants just doing their way. They're not people to be bothered.
Gotcha.
Royalty, nobility, who don't really serve any other purpose other than to collect taxes off of farmhands who only have turnips. Those guys piss me off. It's just like you're kicking people when they're down and you're supposed to be making a better example for them, richening and enlivening their lives, making everything better. Yeah, that's going to take gold, but you're going to be finding something that your people do the best, and you're going to be exporting that out and making riches for them that then get redistributed back into things. That way their kids aren't stuck digging in the dirt for the rest of their lives. Making everything better so that, all those farmers eventually get some sort of automaton that's able to actually go out and do the fields for them so that their kids don't feel like as if they're trapped being the farmers in the next generation. They're actually able to go off, become, tinkerers themselves or wizards or go off to some foreign land, translate some language that nobody's ever heard of before, and bring it back to other people who are just as ignorant about it as they were beforehand and go, look, there's something new here. There's several different dimensions and planes, and how many people actually explore them? Like what, only a handful? So much more out there. And you've just got this small group of people just keeping everybody else from being able to do what they can do. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some areas where it's just never going to get better no matter what you do. But at the same time, how many people do you actually see try?
I think I'm trying to understand how your brain works a bit more, Joseph.
Yeah.
Are you? I know the familiar term of curiosity killed the cat, but how many lives do you think you're down to now? Because your curiosity is probably the leading cause of many of your demises. What do you think? You're down to 3, 4?
I think I probably got 21 left.
I see. You seem to be curious beyond no bounds. Like, I can imagine you could discover all the secrets of the universe, and even that would not satisfy you.
More secrets in the universe than we could ever figure out. It would be a life worth living to go out, find them, steal fire from some sun god who's keeping it from the frozen wastelands of a planet that they lord over and giving it back to the people. That would be an experience.
And you would be leading the charge.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because you would need that the fire of the sun for those giant marshmallows that you stole from the town over.
Yep. Oh, that and plus the graham crackers to be baked and, the chocolate
Oh,
that
yeah.
has to
Oh,
be
yeah.
grown.
Of course. Anyway, I got 6 points. What did you get?
I got 14.
All right. That's the last of the bottle.
I just slide it back over to you.
More for me. Yeah. All right. All right. The reason we did this game is it forces you, whether it'll be a friendly competition or just it gives you time to chit chat. Because I felt we're always on the move, we're always doing something. We feel the call to action so much that I think we're starting to lose our way. And as much as I am willing to continue on the ways of adventure, earning that gold and doing whatever we can, but I'm hoping that we're not just doing things just because we can. Because again, our main purpose was, hey, we need gold so we can eat tonight. And then, then suddenly castle. You just say, my fault. I'll take full acknowledge of that. But I think that castle eventually just changed us. And I know there was like a lot of stuff behind, going around with unicorns and everything, but those aren't. It's just where we kind of change. It just like our outlook on life changed, and even we lost our girls. They stuck with us so much of for our garbage. They stuck around Until eventually their destiny changed. Ours didn't.
I really miss them.
I do too. If anything, I'd rather run into them than the bloody ranger. At least I get, because I would give him the warmest hug I could rather than throw a punch.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just wanted to take this time to really get to understand you a bit. Got to the point where always on the move, barely any time to talk. Always run into trouble. Whether it's burning down buildings, pissing off town, run into a chaotic tower. Just always seems to be running into something.
Getting a Modron leg.
Get it,
Finding a giant sword.
Yeah.
Having a random turtle create a flesh golem in the middle of your basement.
Uh-huh. So, and for once, going into a tavern area and not starting trouble. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna pick on the two guys just rolling dice in the corner. While we're covered in soot and whatever's all over this armor now. It's like after you just roll the dice, Joseph, if you want to keep playing, you're gonna have to buy another bottle.
Okay, let's buy a keg and let's go adventure.
Withers puts another bottle on the table for you. Anything else, my lord? You didn't notice that it was getting darker as you were talking.
Just, I imagine both Joseph and Jaila just do that slow head turn.
You're in one of the basement rooms of the castle right now. I've been sitting on this for like half an hour now.
What was in that mead?
Regular mead. Withers, how did we get home?
You have always been here, sir. My lord, the challengers will be arriving tomorrow. And I think that's a great place for us to leave it off tonight.
Yes.
Oh, this episode really was a roller coaster. We went from complete destruction to a trip down memory lane. I have absolutely been sitting here during the dramatic part, like, can't wait to tell them they're back at the castle.
Oh my! The moment we say "and Withers," it's just that moment of just.
I was
How long have we?
much...
It is that moment. Like, how long were you playing sevens?
I want to thank everybody for joining us for another fun episode. These never go anywhere near as planned, but that's why I don't do too much prep anymore, because this is just I love these. Thank you, players. Tell us who you are and where you can be found throughout the interwebs.
I'm Crump64, also known as Susie Crump. You can find me on all levels of the internet through Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, any level socials under the @Crump64. You can practically find me. I'm very sporadic when I post things or when I go live wherever. I'm a man of nonsense 24/7. That's basically the bio I wear. I wear.
You can find me. I'm Kyle. I'm Flint Ewood 756 on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. So yeah, I'm pretty much this chaotic all the time normally. Kind of has moments where it's good. But yeah, if you need me for anything, you can hit me up there.
And I, of course, am Mort Films, but you already knew that because, again, you're on my channel. I can be found everywhere else on the internet under the name Wart Films. Some more than others. It depends on where the serotonin takes me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just following the highs, and I'm not completing any solid projects. That's a problem I need to work on. Hopefully, in the future, I will get stable. Well, not too stable. I got to play with these guys after all. But I very much hope to start to like focus on completing my full projects again. But until then, I'm just having fun with everything. This was, like I said, we got to ride the highs and the lows, and they were all great tonight. So I can't wait to do this again in a couple of weeks. And just I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know what's going to happen. Even if I knew what was going to happen, I wouldn't know what was going to happen. What am I talking about? I will see you next time here on Trick Roll.